Hi guys! In this episode of the Nostalgia Trip, I'm gonna be continuing with my reactions to one of my favorite shows ever, Ghost Whisperers, which is also one of the first shows ever that I actually became a fan of and watched as it was airing. It was a great show back in the early 2000s, and I loved it. As you can see though, we are in a different location, and since I expect that most of you are new viewers, I'll explain to you a little bit about why I'm at a different location. It's pretty simple, honestly. It's due to the nature of my parents' job requiring them to move from one place to another during the year. We are back here where I live during the summer. After the end of the summer, kind of somewhere mid-fall, we're gonna be back at the other location, though by that point I'll probably be done with Ghost Whisperer, or at least be very close to ending, hopefully. I don't know, we'll see how that's gonna go. At least in terms of recording it, I'll probably be done. But anyway, I am pretty excited to continue with my reactions to Ghost Whisperer. It's a great show. It's been actually pretty nostalgic for me, obviously, going back and actually reacting to this show. And at this point in time at which I'm recording this video, actually I still have not edited the reaction to the first two episodes, so I don't really know yet how much I can actually keep from the reactions, so that's great, I guess. But yeah, I'm just pretty excited to continue reacting to this show, and in today's episode we're going to be checking out episode 5 of season 1 called Lost Boys, and episode 6, Homecoming. And I'm pretty sure I remember exactly what episode 5 is going to be about. I think this episode might introduce a certain character that is going to become like a decently major character throughout the course of the series, though maybe I'm just misremembering it. I think he might appear in this episode, but we'll see, and I'm gonna talk about it once he appears, if he does. But yeah, it's, from what I remember, actually a pretty cool episode, so I'm actually really excited to get into it and enjoy it. So yeah, I guess without further ado, let's get into the reaction, starting off with Lost Boys in 3, 2, 1.
Great chance for us to break out, meet new people.
I can't wait to see some really cool horror sequences.
You standing up in front of like a jillion strangers. You are gonna be great. Besides, they set up like.
Wait, is this the basement of the shop?
Yeah, fun. Where's the light? Hello. All this junk have to come up? Yeah, everything. Look, I could get a pro to do the auction, but it's gonna cost us so much. And you're beautiful, and everyone's gonna listen to you.
Well, then how come you don't listen to me when I tell you no?
Oh, I'm listening to you. I'm just not paying any attention.
I really like her short-sleeved hoodie. That is really cool.
This is our stuff. Leave it be. This is our stuff. Leave it be. Yeah. Who do you think you are? Now get out of here before we do something you don't like.
Is even the dog a ghost? I mean, there was a ghost dog in one of the last episodes. I gotta say, I'm surprised that literally nobody is reacting to this show on YouTube. Because, like, I looked up reactions, searched up at least reactions on YouTube to watch after I am doing my reactions, and literally nobody is reacting to the show. Hopefully that doesn't mean a lot of copyright issues.
There was a bad fire in 1956, destroyed half the place.
Oh wow, those kids are old. Holy shit.
Several young boys, very sad.
I'm Melinda.
How are they able to touch stuff?
I'm Marty. And Vic is hiding somewhere. That's what he does.
Who dialed your number?
Sorry, Rat.
How come you could see us?
How come you can fucking pick up stuff? Did I miss
Some
something?
gift. And what makes you think you could just walk out of here with our stuff? Well, it's not really your stuff. It belongs to Mr. Abrams, and he hired us to auction it off for him. You didn't know?
Yeah, I know. I mean, we never get hungry. We never sleep.
Really?
And nobody can see us. Except you. It's gotta be dead.
Damn, these kids are fucking smart.
You are very smart.
Yeah.
The plant, you fucking asshole.
Hey, Mel!
Hey, Lou!
You look great.
Oh, you're too kind. Don't burn the house down.
Still pissed at me.
No
Well, you
shit.
did pass out before the wedding even started. And now you just ran over her favorite plant.
Do you believe in ghosts, Miss Gordon?
In a matter of speaking, yes.
Yes? I do?
I think they're here. Now. They're all around.
You have no idea how true that is. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
That was kind of cringy, I gotta say.
Peter Pan. That's our favorite.
No shit, of course it is, because it's literally what you're living in.
Ernie's
How your
great.
fucking head reminds me of that shit.
Who's Ernie?
He's a pal of ours.
Is he here with you?
No, not for a long time.
You know, I wonder if there's gonna be any foreshadowing about the future developments with Kid Ghosts that we get in this show. You know, so far, all the episodes with fucking young kids have been kind of annoying, I gotta say.
You slept at the inn.
Ooh, those kids needed me. They're under the influence of this older kid, Rat.
There's a ghost named Rat.
Yeah. I don't get them to cross over before that building is torn down.
Torn down? But it's such a great old place.
That's why the new owner is going to hear from the Grandview Historical Society.
I didn't know there was a Grand Historical Society.
Ah, there isn't yet. Hey, you should be vice president.
I gotta know. Anybody gotta know? I gotta know in the back. I gotta know where. I got a big fat no.
Grandview Historical Society.
I
Yeah.
don't get you two.
I've known the guy since we were 14, you know. He's the kind of guy you could always call 3 o'clock in the morning if your car wouldn't start or you were lost or worse. He's always been there for me, no questions asked, and that counts for a lot.
Yeah, to be honest, Melinda is definitely being
I get it.
the kind of like an unreasonable in the relationship right
But
now.
It ain't gonna be the movies.
Why not?
No margaritas.
When they found their bodies, you would have expected to find Ernie lying right next to Rat. But that's not what happened. They never found Ernie's body. 2 little ones were
He didn't die.
holding hands. No one was right there with them.
Tell him to shut up. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Later.
Sorry.
Late. It's getting late.
Right you are.
He's always shooting his damn mouth off.
Oh,
Well, like I said, it gets spooky around here.
No shit. Yeah, my glass fucking blows up. Oh, it's just a normal Tuesday.
oh, boys, come back.
Yeah, that scared him off.
It's so good to see you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. When you didn't
Aw,
know my
look at the
love.
smiles on their faces.
Nothing we can't handle, okay? I can do it. You gonna be alright?
Yeah.
Alright.
Man, the relationship seems so real.
I heard what you said last night. You think they want us at the place she's talking about?
Yeah.
Nobody wants us. This is the only place we know
To be honest,
safe.
again, like I said in one of the
That's
last
why we stay together.
reactions,
I tell you what.
it always comes off
Just
a
come
little
outside with me
like
for one
Melinda
day.
is lying
Let me
that the
prove to
light
you
is
that
actually a
you can
good
be safe.
place, and I'm pretty sure
You know,
that's
somewhere
like an
other than
argument
here.
one of the villains that in the show makes at a certain point.
If you want your feet to burn, go ahead.
But
No
at the
matter
same
what she
time,
says,
it is
I'm
the
gonna
only
go.
way for them to move forward.
Am I going to see my brother Mike again? Will he be there? Yes, Rat. Your brother will be right there waiting for you.
He's probably gonna be the one who will say, "Come,
I'd see him
come,"
again.
when you see the light.
Family took him. Not me. They lied. It's the truth this time, I promise. And Marty and Vic will come. They're your family. You'll all be together.
30. Anybody with 35? 30. I'm sorry, we're still 30.
What is
$35.
this guy looking
You
for?
sure? You look like you have $35.
My guess is that he is the one kid who was not there. He survived.
not just bid on this piece. Should have made it part of the deal with Abrams.
You're Ernie, aren't you?
Yep.
You're the boy that got away. That's how you knew that the Kensington was an orphanage. You were there. You don't have to pay me. It belongs to you.
I'd read. I kept my little secrets down there. Matches, candle.
So why did you change your name and identity
That
then?
night I heard Homer barking. I thought he was in trouble. I went to find him.
He
I
caused the
meant to come back. I
fire!
meant to blow out the candle and hide it again. But one thing led to another. They called bedtime. I forgot all about it. This must be a dream.
It's really not. It's a TV show.
Brad? Is that you?
He uses indoor voice. We ain't deaf.
He says for you to use your indoor voice. We ain't deaf.
Son of a... It is Rat.
Tell him Homer's here.
You got your teeth fixed.
You're really getting old, Ernie.
Hey, one at a time. Okay, Vic wants you to know that Homer's here. Marty thinks you're getting old, and Rat says your teeth are fixed.
No cavities. They're all false. Mine fell out.
They're laughing.
Aw.
Where's Rat?
Right.
Right in front of you.
You were the brave one, Rat. You were trying to save us. You always knew the right thing to do. I can't tell you how many times when I was out on the road and I'd think back on all the things you taught me.
Man, this show, even in like bad episodes, still makes me feel emotional. Not to the point of crying. I assume that there's gonna be a time at which I'm gonna cry, but it does make my heart hurt, you know? It does give me heartache.
So full of it, Ernie. It's coming out of your ears.
He wants to know if you really think that.
Yes, I do. Rat. I would give all the money I have in the world to see you one more time. All of you.
You ain't gonna make me cry, Ernie.
Me too.
He's crying.
Don't tell him that. Tell him he could tear down the inn if he wants. We're going.
I don't think he will now. I both love and hate that the show never shows us what ghosts see into the light. It does kind of make it seem more insidious than it actually is. Like, it makes it seem like they're lying. Like, the people who are in the light are in like hell and they're just tricking people to go there.
Are they gone?
I don't know why, like that's something that ever since I was a kid when I watched this show, it's always been in the back of my head. That it just seems a little too good to be true, you know?
Thank you.
Man, I feel like however hard it might be sometimes to do this, it's kind of worth the high that it gives you when you help ghosts move on. Oh, it's the dog!
Do you want to explain that?
Tomorrow. Let's just go back to bed.
They have a ghost dog. I forgot about the dog. How do you make a dog go to the other side? I think I actually remember that this was like a kind of like a Z plot that this show deals with over the course of the series. How how Melinda is trying to help the dog cross into the light. And I actually don't remember how that goes, how that ends. I just now remember that that was a thing, and I can't wait to see how it's gonna go, because that is so funny and interesting. But yeah, it was a decent episode, I guess. I feel like I had more higher expectations for this episode than it actually turned out to be. Maybe because when I was a kid, I guess I gave it some more weight than it deserved, or maybe I'm just confusing it with some other episode that features kids as well. But it was fine episode. But for whatever reason, out of the episodes we've seen so far, the episodes with kids seem to be consistently the worst ones. I mean, to be honest, did we have kids in another episode other than the one with the kid that got run over by the train? I think we did, but it's also been like a week since I watched the first 4 episodes of the show. And it's not like they're the most memorable stuff, so I'm not sure. I can't exactly remember whether it was the case or not, but it was a decent episode. I just feel like it should have been better. Like, I remember it being better than it actually turned out to be. And I was expecting that this episode was actually going to be the good one out of the 2. So now I'm worried about the next one, Homecoming. Although, there's one episode which I think is in the early seasons of the show, which features an actor and a musician that I love a lot, called Kendall Schmidt, I think his name is, from Big Time Rush, who recently had their return as a group, which was great. And I want to see whether he actually has like a bigger role or not, whether he's like a more of a character and rather than just an extra. And I think it was in an episode that had something to do with prom, so I'm expecting that he might appear in next episode. I guess we're gonna find out by only getting into it, but before we do, I guess I should also give a rating for this episode. I think I'm gonna go, honestly, with like an 8.4 out of 10. I think the concept and the story of the episode is actually pretty heavy and pretty emotional and pretty interesting. And I like it. But I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just the kids' characters just kind of suck and are not interesting that much. And that kind of ruined it a little bit for me, I guess. Or just wasn't as exciting. Because I feel like you can even see in my reactions, I didn't really have much to say about it. Didn't really have much to react to, so that kind of annoyed me about the episode. But again, like I've mentioned before, the standards by which I judge a show or an episode when I'm doing a reaction and when I'm just simply watching it for myself is different. Because when I'm doing these reactions, I'm looking for stuff to react to. So episodes which don't really give me anything to react to tend to be considered worse ones, you know? But yeah, I still enjoyed it quite a lot, and I can't wait to get into the next one. So without further ado, let's get into episode 6, Homecoming, in 3, 2, 1.
To tell you my story, I have to tell you theirs.
And yet you never stop telling their story, so when are you gonna be able to tell us yours? What is this?
Pay me bills or price hold furniture?
Furniture.
Really? Can you be a little bit more original? So creepy. I could never sleep like that, with my arm dangling off the bed. Fuck no. I'm still traumatized from horror movies as a kid to the point where I'm afraid to dangle my arms, feet off of the bed. Not for anything else, just because that's how I've been all this time. Not that I'm expecting something to grab me, but it just makes me feel uneasy and creeped out. So I just don't do that.
What are you doing here? This is my home. Who are you?
He was attached to the picture, I guess.
Is that you?
Are you dead too?
No.
No.
My mom and dad were moving Grandma into a nursing home. Her mind was starting to go. I found the picture. I asked my grandmother who the baby was, and she said it was me with my mother. Except my mother doesn't have a tattoo.
Man,
That's
what a
what I
way
do.
to find out. I can never imagine how my reaction would be if I ever found out something like that, you know?
I don't know who she is. She abandoned you.
How do you know? How do you know, Ashley? I'm gonna find my mother.
I am your mother.
Didn't I? Then they weren't even going to talk about it.
You know, I've thought about adoption.
Do have one of our own.
Whenever I do have kids, if I do ever have kids, I do want to adopt for whatever reason. I don't know why it's such a thing that I want to do, but apparently I have an interest in doing so, so there's that.
I really appreciate your help in finding my friend's birth record.
I've never really thought if I do end up adopting 10 years from now,
This is where we keep babies.
whether I would hide it or I would tell them.
This is where Jason must have been after he was born.
Ever heard of FTT?
Yeah, it's a failure to thrive.
I feel like I would have to tell them at a certain point, because not telling them is gonna kill me. I'm not good at keeping secrets like that.
Being held enough,
I'm a real
looked at,
blabbermouth,
touched, or given enough emotional attention.
and it's just gonna kill me to not
That's why we get
tell
volunteers
them.
like yourself to come in and hold them.
Adoption, huh?
Is that a
Tricky
ghost?
business. Although, from what I've learned over the years, you can always count on the courts to have adoption records on file. Getting to see them is another matter.
What are you doing here?
Waiting. Won't be long now.
Oh, is this one yours?
She will be soon.
I don't understand.
I have a calling. Just like you. I'm a guardian for little children who don't have anyone to meet them on the other side. I take care of them.
So she's not gonna make it?
It's okay. She's not meant to make it. We have a better place for her. She's suffered long enough.
What? What the fuck? Wait a second. We really kind of have to stop for a second to talk about that, dude. You really kind of glossed over
Why
that
are you
shit.
ignoring me? She gave me up willingly. I thought she had to give me away. I thought someone was forcing her. My mother didn't want me.
And that's fine. That's fine. Not everybody is always ready to be a parent. That's why abortion should be a right for women to choose when they want to have babies and not because of situations like this.
We don't know what her situation was.
I can't tell you how many hours I studied that picture.
And no,
looking for clues.
not having him grow
It's
up
like she had a tattoo. I mean, how cool is
is
that?
not killing him. Aborting him is not killing him. Because he wouldn't be
I
alive
figured they
in
were
that
getting down because she
situation.
was all upset about having to give me away. Like, maybe she was too young and her parents were forcing her to give me up. I don't know who I am. Or who I was.
Hey, I know how hard this is.
What do you mean you don't know?
But you're
You are
forgetting
you.
about the two people
It
who
doesn't
didn't
matter.
want you. They chose you, they loved you, they raised you.
You don't keep secrets from people you love. How could they not
Here I
tell
can
me?
agree
How
with
could
you,
they
but
let me
it doesn't
find
really
out
matter
like
whether
that?
you're natured or nurtured into being who you are.
I can't.
You are you.
I don't want to talk to her.
If
And if we're
if
gonna
you
find
were
your birth
raised
mother, I
by
have to
somebody else,
see if
you
they
wouldn't
know
be
anything
you,
that can
you
help
know?
us.
Shoot, I've got something in my eye. Excuse me for a minute.
Why do you
would
have to be so fucking hard? It's okay to cry. Your kid died, goddammit. If it's not okay to cry when your kid died, when is
I
it?
plant trees for them. I planted one at the high school, one at the skateboard park, and 2 in the girls' soccer field.
It's a beautiful thing to do.
What can I do for you, Melinda?
Well, this isn't such an easy thing to say either. I've seen Jason. I spoke with him this morning. I have an antique store in Grandview, and somehow I ended up with Jason's furniture.
You've seen Jason?
Spirits are sometimes very attached to their personal things, furniture, jewelry.
You're talking about ghosts.
I can
Yes.
see them and help them.
Oh, my dear girl. People say I have a twisted sense of humor, but this is an incredible bad taste, even for me. Who put you up to this?
How do
I
I...
found a picture of him. when he
Okay,
was
why
baby
doesn't
with his
Belinda
real
just
mother.
say, how do I prove it to you that I can have talked to your dead relative? Do you want me to tell you something that only they would know? Like, why doesn't she just say that?
Through his loud music, and then I really had to bury him. And now I have to endure a very real silence because the crying and laughter and music has stopped. So don't tell me I'm not his real mother.
I know it must have taken a lot for you to come and see me.
He was there with me in the house. I can't deny it. And it's not just the music either. I felt him.
He feels a lot of anger and confusion.
The last thing I ever wanted to do was hurt him.
Why didn't you just tell Jason he was adopted?
Well, they meant to. Every Mother and Father's Day, every birthday, but the moment just didn't seem right. We were afraid of how he would react.
He was bound to find out.
When I brought him home from the hospital, I held on
Yeah,
to him.
I'm now trying to think how I would handle that situation. And it genuinely doesn't seem right to tell them
You know who she is, don't you?
at any point until they're like mature enough to actually handle it properly.
When Jason first found out, I wanted to know who she was. I tracked her down. Her name is Fran Vaughn.
My choice for when I will tell them is probably...
This is her address.
I mean, I don't know, man. It's hard to
It means that
handle
much
when you
to
think
Jason.
about
I'm
it.
not going to stand in his way. I'm not going to try to protect him anymore.
Protect him from what?
Telling them at the 18th birthday seems kinda wrong because it's kinda them having this reality and then it gets shattered when you reveal that to them. So I feel like the best way would probably be to just tell them right off the bat, or if you to just adopt them when they're a little older. And if I do ever adopt, I would probably want to adopt like a 4 or a 5-year-old.
What you've done with the yard.
Thought I'd touch up a few little things so, you know, Mitch could start
Because I don't really want to deal with baby stuff anyway.
I'm glad.
Look, you go
You know,
on without me. I'm not ready.
I never really thought about where the hell is Grandview located?
I'm here on behalf of your son.
Don't have a son, just a daughter.
Well, someone took this photo of you and your new baby 18 years ago.
How do you know that's me?
Tattoo, amongst other reasons.
Yeah, pretty blatant.
Look, I can't be doing this.
Your son's name is Jason Shields, and he'd like to make contact with you.
I was a different person back then. I got sent to juvie upstate because I was young and stupid. I had no idea what I was doing half the time.
Well, you knew good enough to try to make a better life for your son.
My husband's inside, and my daughter's going to be home any minute. They have no idea I had a kid, and I don't want them to.
They don't have to know. But Jason wants to make contact with you.
No, I can't. I'm sorry.
Your son is dead.
What?
He died a year ago. Jason was allergic to bees. He got stung and he died.
But you said he's trying to make contact with me?
Yeah.
He is.
What the hell is this? Who are you?
My name's Melinda Gordon. I'm from Grandview, and I have this gift to speak with and see
Dead people?
Yeah,
Yes.
basically.
People who have died and not yet crossed over.
Wow. Whew. Wow, you really had me going there for a minute. We're not buying at this house.
Please, at least take my card. You can reach me at my store.
Sure. Look, you're a nut job, lady. Get off my stoop and don't bother me again.
Either I'm running a fever or I'm starting to see ghosts myself.
Ooh, that was a nice transition there.
And Vaughn's daughter. We need to talk. My mother would have a kitten if she knew I was here right now.
You're not supposed to hear our conversation.
I'm glad I did. I have a half brother. He's dead, but I think it's so cool that you can talk to ghosts. How rad is that?
Finally, somebody thinks he's fucking cool.
What is
I like her. I like her.
He's handsome. You guys have the same eyes.
Wait a minute. He's here?
Yep.
Oh my god.
I like her. I really do.
What's it like to be dead?
It's kind of like freshman year all over again. You're there, but nobody pays any attention to you.
He says it's kind of like freshman year. The banality of being invisible. Oh, that sucks. What do you miss most about being alive?
Lots of things.
He misses you and your mother. He wants to know what she's like. She's a pain in my butt. Everything has to be done her way or no way. You know, she always wants to know what I'm doing, who I'm with, but when you need to talk to her, she doesn't have time. I can't stand her. Just
Isn't that every
sometimes I won't
teen
even
though?
go inside when I get home from school. I'll
Well,
just
I personally
hide
had
out under
a
the
great
stoop and put on my
have
headphones
a
and
great
listen to some
relationship
Morrissey so I don't
with my
have to
mom.
see her.
My dad, on the other hand,
Tell her
is
I'd
an
give her
asshole.
anything to be in her shoes.
Hey, I don't care about the money. This is our home.
Alright, I agree, but then why are we trying to sell it?
Well, because we're so stupid in love that we'd do anything to make each other happy.
Alright, okay, this is like an O. Henry story told by Donald Trump. Look, does that mean
What?
you will
Excuse
tell
me?
us that we don't want to sell?
No, it means I'll get Andrea.
Yeah, you don't want to say stuff like that, Jim. Not in the year of our Lord
I don't know if
2022.
you can hear me.
Which is 17 years after this.
Man,
Holy shit, it's been 20 years.
I don't want to mess this up anymore.
I don't want to grow old, man.
I never told him he was adopted, but he found out and he wanted to meet you. I wouldn't let him. That's what we argued about the day he died. His name was Jason. He was a wonderful kid, Fran. He was smart and funny, and he cared about people. It's the one thing you can't teach, isn't it? And he was kind, and he was gentle, and you would have been proud of him. Please stop now.
Oh, please talk to me.
Fran, Jason's here. He wants to talk to you.
I didn't believe it either, Fran. But it's true. Jason is here. And Melinda can talk to him for us.
You know, it's much better when you have other people rooting for you and convincing people for that you can see the dead.
Sybil, right now.
You know, why is it that families keep so many secrets from each other?
Well, because family's so important.
Well, you're gonna find
It's
out
hard
about a
to
certain
lose,
secret
you
in
know?
your family, although I don't know how much of a big secret it was.
And your friends.
But, yeah,
Jim
can't wait to
decided
get
you
to
wanna
that
keep our
plot.
house and we need you to tell him.
Absolutely. Right after I work up the courage to tell him I'm staying in my shoebox of an apartment.
Whoa, why the change of heart?
I've changed. I'm not squeaky anymore.
You know, I wasn't loving Squeaky.
When I was at your house, and I saw those pictures, and I heard the way Diane talked about you, I am so proud. I know I don't have a right to feel that way, but I am. And I'm so sorry for me that I didn't get to know you. You may not believe this, but there's always been this empty place in me. And now that I've seen how you grew up and where, and how much you're loved, it feels a little less empty.
What's gonna happen to Sybil's baby?
He wants to know what's gonna happen with the baby.
I don't know. We have a lot to work out. But whatever Sybil, whatever your sister decides, we will be a part of this baby's life.
And the baby's gonna know about Uncle Jason and Diane.
Aw.
Give him the picture.
Right. That's your brother.
for whatever reason, this episode is the one that has gotten me closest to wanting to cry, or to crying, so far. And we're just 6 episodes into this show.
I still have one more person to see.
The mom who raised you.
He wants you to know that he was so hurt and angry over being adopted that he took it out on the one person who was always there for him.
All you ever tried to do was protect me and love me. No matter how hard I tried to push you away, you never gave up on me.
He feels lucky to have been your son.
I was the lucky one. For 17 years, you made my life shine. You were the greatest gift.
He's sorry that he got mad and that it ended that way.
But it's not ended. And it never will be. I will always be with you. And you will always be with me.
What's that like?
God damn this episode, man.
Light's for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So far, the episodes with the teenagers have been the most entertaining, for, I guess, kind of obvious reason. Because I guess I still relate to teenagers even though I'm a young adult at this point. I'm gonna be 22 in about 3 months.
Good boy. Shoot. I got something in my eye again.
Oh, yeah, sure you did. Man, I think I'm starting to remember feeling emotional when watching this show as a kid. Because, like, when I was a kid, I was, like, a very, very, very emotional kid. Like, one of my earliest memories is literally watching a movie. I don't even remember exactly what it was about, but I remember that it had some animals or some flipping pandas or something that got kidnapped or killed or captured or something. I have no idea. That's not the point. The plot is not the point. The point is that the fact that the pandas or bears or whatever it was got hurt or were hurt in any way made me super fucking sad. Like, I couldn't control my emotions as a kid. And I was very susceptible to anything even remotely emotional. So I think I'm starting to remember when watching this show as a kid, I would choke with sadness, essentially. Like, it would start my throat would start hurting from how sad I'm feeling. So I hope that I actually end up feeling that feeling at some point as I'm watching this show, because it really brings me back, man. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed this episode quite a lot. It was fun and entertaining, definitely more entertaining than the previous one. I don't know why, but it's just the kid episodes are so off. They just feel off. And I don't know why. I can't really tell why that would be the case. But it is. Because I don't really think like the kids are bad actors or anything. And in fact, seeing the kids be dead and having to deal with the fact that kids are dead is pretty heavy. But for whatever reason, it really makes for kind of weird episodes for whatever reason. And also, just like last episode, we didn't get introduced, or we didn't see the character that I thought we were going to be seeing in this episode. Because for last episode, I thought a certain kid character that later on grows up to be an adult in the show would show up, but he didn't. And in this episode, I thought that a character, potentially minor character played by Kendall Schmidt, was going to show up, but he didn't. So yeah, I don't know. I still expect that they're going to show up in the first season, but I don't know when. But yeah, pretty fun episode. Probably the most emotional episode so far. Especially, I guess, because I kind of, again, relate because it's a teenage character. But also because, like I said, I want to adopt. Whenever I start a family in the future. I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't know if it's ever going to even happen. You can't really predict the future. And knowing myself, some kind of miracle would really need to happen, but it's just that the thought that I might have to deal with adopting a kid and having to tell them that they're adopted and everything, I guess that kind of hits close to home. I don't know. But yeah, I don't really have much to say about this episode. It's just that it was definitely more enjoyable, more emotional, and just better in every way compared to the last one. And in terms of a rating, I'm honestly going to give this one like a 9.4 out of 10. I think it was actually really, really entertaining. There wasn't really even a single part of the episode where I was bothered by it or felt annoyed or off. It was super entertaining all through, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm glad that we also got the introduction to a character that I did not expect that would get introduced at all, because I didn't remember him appearing before the finale of Season 1, that being Andrea's brother, but I guess he does appear earlier. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, it was a pretty fun episode, and I can't wait to continue reacting to the show and continue with the next episodes. Oh, and almost forgot, we kind of have to talk about a little bit about that baby dying and getting taken to the light. I really did not remember anything like that, but to be honest, it's like a random scene in an episode, so of course I wouldn't remember much about it, but that was kind of dark. And I was wondering whether that guy was a ghost, because it kind of seemed like he was a ghost. And it's interesting that even on the ghost side of things, there are people with certain jobs like that. I guess that's kind of like a certain foreshadowing for certain things that are going to happen in future seasons. And it's really interesting how this show kind of reminds me a little bit of Lucifer, in terms of how the earlier seasons are more like a typical procedural show, like Dr. House or Grey's Anatomy or any of the CSI shows. Like, it very much follows the same kind of formula like that, but as it goes on, it slowly builds up lore and stuff to the point where maybe in the later seasons you don't really get as much of the typical formula of meet this person who has a dead relative, they don't believe you, you speak to the dead, then after something crazy happens that they cannot explain, they suddenly start to believe you, so they come to you, like that kind of formula, kind of thing. So I can't wait to get there, to be honest, because even though it's still not getting old, I definitely wish the plot would kind of thicken a little bit for these episodes, because I don't really feel like I have much to talk about after the reactions. I barely have anything to say during the reactions, and that is a little annoying. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still enjoying it though, so that's the most important part, I guess. But yeah, what did you guys think about these two episodes? Comment your thoughts down below, and let's have a discussion about it. And also, before we end this video, I want to give a huge shout out to my currently one patron on Patreon, Deadpool. Thank you for your support, I really appreciate it. It really means a lot to me that you have decided to support me, have continued to support me for such a long time. Hope you continue to enjoy my content and continue to support me going forward. Thank you very much. And now, before we end this video, I just want to talk about something to you guys very quickly, which some of you may or may have not noticed before or know about me, that being the fact that I am trans. And yes, this may come as shocking to some of you, because I don't really flaunt it that much on my channel, or at least I feel like I don't. Outside of like my K-pop reactions, which is where I feel like the most comfortable being myself like this. And yeah, I am in fact trans. I'm not necessarily full-on male to female, but I heavily want to transition to being pretty female. I do consider myself more non-binary though, or maybe gender fluid would be the best descriptor as well, because I do have occasional moments where I feel fine being like just a normal guy, but most of the time, like right now, I do feel very dysphoric. And that's why I'm asking you guys for any help that you can give me, because my situation right now, I don't really see any way outside of you guys' help. Because, and this is gonna be kept short and concise, I live with my parents. They're never going to accept me as a trans person. They just never will. And as a matter of fact, back when I started the YouTube channel, I was actually kind of slightly starting my transition back then, with like starting to grow out my hair. I even got to DIY HRT, but because my parents started noticing certain things, like my behavior had changed a lot, and my clothes had changed a lot, I kind of had to stop doing that because they were constantly nagging me about cutting my hair and just started to kind of be threatening in a certain way and felt like they were ashamed of me and everything. And that just kind of stress just tired me out to the point where I just gave up. But as dysphoria goes, it just doesn't go away, you know. I still feel like this, and in fact it's somewhat been intensifying again recently, so I just wanted to share this with you guys. And again, I would really appreciate any amount of support you can give me in regards to this, because I just don't see any way out of this. Because even if I moved out of my parents' house and got myself a job and everything, that's just not gonna work for long-term planning, because once I transition, it's like I probably will not be able to get myself a job because my country is very transphobic. Nobody gives a shit about LGBT people at all. So there's not even much I can do even in terms of transitioning here. So yeah, I don't know. I just would appreciate any amount of support you can give me, be it monetarily or in any way otherwise. And this is not about boosting my channel or anything, or guilt-tripping you with my sob story. I just wanted to get this off my chest and make my subscribers aware of the situation that I am in, and that I would appreciate anything that you guys can help me out with. It would mean literally everything. Like, for example, a friend that I made after starting this YouTube channel, my good friend Yuri, has been helping me out a lot. And I genuinely might have not been here if it wasn't for him showing up and befriending me. So yeah, this just went a little bit longer than I intended, but I would just really appreciate anything you can support me with. That's kind of ultimately what I'm trying to say. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Also, check out the links in the description to my Twitter if you don't follow me over there, and to my Wattpad where I post my stories, because in addition to doing all these videos on my channel, I'm also a writer. And if you don't enjoy my stories or simply enjoy my videos, you can head over to my Patreon or to my Ko-fi account, where you can pledge your support and help get the channel going, help support me so I can keep writing stories you enjoy. But if you don't want to do it, that's completely fine. You can still help me out in other ways, like liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and especially sharing this video with someone who you think might enjoy it. And I think this is pretty much it for this video, so hopefully I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye!